Hello guys, welcome back to Daniel Desulier channels. We are today at Gendarmerie of Chamonix. Chamonix is a small town, is a rather small town in the Alps in France. It's the temple of mountaineering and climbing. And Gendarmerie is a kind of police, but it's a mixed force coming from military part and police part, and their missions, their principal duty is just to have a survey on the valleys and the peaks and search and rescue mission. And they are often equipped with French and Japanese French Airbus Industrie helicopters and Japanese Mitsubishi helicopters. Today we have to go to Refuge d'Argentieres to pick up two persons to drop back in the valley. So we are based in the eastern part of Chamonix. Chamonix is on places something there on the west side of the valley, and then up as we are climbing we can see there Aiguille du Goûter, Dôme du Goûter, Aiguille du Midi, Aiguille du Midi et les Aiguilles de Chamonix. And this plate is called the Midi Plan. You have a cable car just starting there and coming up to the first station on Midi Plan plate, and then a second cable is just lifting up to the summit, about 400 feet high, 3,950 feet if my memory is good. And there you have a pretty look on the north face of Mont Blanc. So be back in the chopper. Here is my co-pilot, and we are just proceeding to the startup of the Gazelle 342 Juliet, and with a magnificent view on Aiguille de Verte and Grande Rue. So, checking the rotor brake. Okay, the cutoff is wide. Throttle course is full, and I have to just put it on the idle position. The rotor is back on its position. Yes, we can right now put everything in its real position. Check. We are checking all switches in the good positions. Yes. So, starting the Gazelle, you have just to start to switch on the battery. You have nothing on the overhead panel. Everything is in front of you. On the top left, you have the warning system lights. Then you have the speedometer, the main artificial horizon, the variometer or vertical speed on the top right. On this part on the left, you have a secondary artificial horizon in case of the main fails. You have an altimeter, you have a gyrometer, you have the torque indicator, which is coming from 0 to 1.1, but normally you are using less percentage of torque just to navigate, to cruise, to climb, to lift up or lift down. You have nav lights, you have radar altimeter switch for tone, you have the console for lighting instrument and panel, and then you have a altimeter radar which gives you in feet the distance between your ship and the ground. You have the oil temperature, the fuel contents, the wipers command, the navigation mode command, and you have here the voltage. Then on this line you have the cargo switch, rotating switch, the pilot heater, the interco. Well, we are switching it on just to lower the noise. Switching the switch for radio on. We are not concerned about the cargo switch. We test that all the warning lights are effective. The battery switch is on. I just engage alternator generator and just check the voltage just about it, and it's okay. I'm just at the low limit of the green arc, so I'll be able to switch the machine on. Right now, the main thing I have to survey is just to, I have a blade in front of me, and this is essential point on the 3 blades rotor ship, because here you have a huge exhaust pipe with high temperature gas, exhaust gas coming out from here about 600 or 700 degrees, and if you start with the blade just in front of it, just burning your blade, which is a pity if you want to go further. So back in the cockpit, the switch is on. I engage the pump for 10 seconds. That is the procedure. Just as the fuel cut is on position, the fuel is coming into the turbine. In the same times, I put my avionics on and just check that the transponder code is 7000 in France for VFR. The standby mode is checked. My GPS is active. My autopilot is enlightened but not used for right now. And then the 10 seconds is finished, and I am engaging the 4 position switch start mode of the turbine. As you can hear, the turbine is starting, and then I am injecting fuel just to start the turbine. I'm checking the ITT there, and hopefully she doesn't reach the red limit. The wild sound is just showing the engine is running. I see that I have this big needle, which is indicating the turbine RPM reach the 25,000 and a little bit up limit, which is the idle position, if we can set so for the turbine. And then I just have to hear the sound is stabilized. Then I'm just letting the switch to the run position. I have to put the flashing light for the nav light and the red strobe on. Yes, just to showing people outside that I am starting the rotor. I cage both artificial horizon because of the vibration. I just have a look around. With my left index I made a circle, an horizontal circle, saying that I am starting the rotor. To start the rotor, I just have to pull gently the throttle until this little red mark, and then I release rotor brake just to allow the rotor to engage its own rotation. From the outside, it's a pretty machine with a very good visibility in front. Right now, the little needle, which is indicating in 100 of in 100, with this little circle, the rotor blade RPM. So we are nearly about 300, and I have to increase gently the throttle. While in the same times, I have to follow the course of this needle for torque indicator. As you can see, this is increasing gently, and the clutch is engaged, hydraulic clutch, and there is an automatic governor which just limits the torque position, the torque demand, not to take off accidentally when starting the helicopter. So the throttle is full course, and then the engine is able to operate. We have two remaining warnings, one for the radio altimeter. The radio altimeter is now engaged here, and the pitot, the little tube just pointing at the front, which is capturing dynamic pressure, air pressure to indicate airspeed. We can release right now and kg both horizons, and there just have a look to the map. So we are just here, just orientate the map in the center. We are at Chamonix PGHM. PGHM is police, gendarmerie, Peloton de gendarmerie de Haute Montagne, high mountain police station, and we intend to go to this refuge there. This is Argentieres glacier, which leads to Aiguille d'Argentieres. We just have to go northeast, and when at Argentieres, we just have to go straight on the southeast direction until we reach this refuge. So I just contact the ground station on my radio, just asking them authorization to take off. I put the transponder on the transmit mode and ask my co-pilot if everything is okay. It's okay. So then next thing I have to do is just to trim the roll position for the cyclic and the rudder position for pedals and on Gazelle, you have to add a huge amount of trim for lifting. I have two scripts, two Lua scripts, which are very helpful. This one which indicates the position of the stick, the position of the pedals, and this one which indicates the direction of the wind and its strength, its speed in knots. This aircraft has to be tuned. I'm not flying that much, but I just put the needle to indicate the limitation for the torque. I intend not to overpass. I do not want to overpass 0.75% of the torque, the amount of torque, the available torque. So right now we are just taking straight ahead and then turn left to follow the Arve River. So as I was taught by my instructor, a real helicopter pilot, I gently pull up the collective and stabilize my chopper at about 3-4 feet above the ground, just to find the zero position. Yes, I'm 3 feet above the ground and always about my departure, a little bit in front of my starting position. Right now, at the control of the helicopter, I just gently push the nose down to increase my speed, while I pull up the collective to increase power and speed, both. At about 40 knots, the helicopter is pretty much under control, I hope, and I just have to follow the map. I quit the Arv main current and just head to Switzerland, because at the end of this valley is Montagne, which is a border city. In the beginning of the 19th century, there was quite nobody in this valley except small farms, but as the Mont Blanc was conquered, hotels and facilities were built to to be able to admit comfortably everybody who wants to climb the Mont. So right now I have to engage the chopper on the right to follow Glacier d'Argentieres. And this is the cable for the ski station of Argentieres, with a cable seat and cable cabin. And it's a lovely ski station, well known in the Alps. As you can see, I'm not flying right under the axis of the valley. I always fly on one side or the other to have the opportunity just to drop down the helicopter in case of an engine failure and be able to use auto rotation to land safely on a small spot I have to determine while flying. I can land on the glacier right there. I can land anywhere on the right because it's too steepy, too slopey. Screen installation, 327 inches curved screen and in a curved line, which gives me a good field of view, like if I was in a real helicopter. I'm just thinking about equipping with virtual reality, but just waiting for a while. While we are climbing at a reasonable left is the normal ascent for going to the Refuge d'Argentieres. It's not on the glacier, it's just on the right bank of the glacier, which is on our left. There is a small path on the moraine. Moraine is an amount of rock which is drawn down by the movement of the glacier down. So we reach the refuge. So I just had a look on where I can land. So just decreasing my speed and turning back while going down a little gently. As I was a former climber and alpinist, I climbed several routes in this area. Very lovely woods. Not so much crowded because you have to walk a long time just to reach the bottom of the route. People are right now used to climb just by the car. So where can I possibly land? There is no drop zone, so I just have to apply. So perhaps this area is a little bit flat right there. Yes. Let's see. The problem of X-Plane is to provide some texture accuracy just to indicate the flatness or not of an array. So we have just to apply the front of the skid against the slope and maintain. Oops. To stabilize right now. This is a ground effect. Okay, I touch, and I mention the chopper. So from the outside. Okay, my passenger maybe dropped in. Just waiting for them. I just ask my co-pilot to open the door. We can simulate. Okay, I have to stabilize, not to move too much. And I can get one pax and pax 2, and then we are gently flying backward, ascending, and then orienting our nose to the valley, increasing our speed, and just going down, closing the tablet to have a better sighting the outside, and enjoying the glacier descent. when I put the collective down too much, as you can see, a warning red light on the panel, which means that the main gearbox is disengaged. So I have to maintain the collective sufficiently high to avoid this effect. And these 2 persons has to be dropped not on the Gendarmerie but on Chamonix Airport. Chamonix Airport is a small grass strip just in front of us. Contacting the auto info frequency of Chamonix just to warn them and to be aware of current traffic in this area intending to start or to arrive at Chamonix Airport. As I have an Argentieres helicopter, I'm not aligning the runway, I'm just following the river just to avoid annoyance with the nose of my ship, of the blades mainly, a little bit from the turbine, but the main part of the sounds which comes from an helicopter are the sounds coming from the blades, which are just knocking in the air. Crossing the axis of the main runway and just aligning with the drop facility. I'm on base, just arriving a little bit on the left of the drop zone, and just as the socket indicates, the wind is very low, but mainly coming from the slopes. So aligning the H, that's the center of the drop zone, and maintaining the chopper at 3, 4, 5 feet above the ground, and then when above the H, just gently pull it down. So my 2 passenger seems to be good. Okay, you can go up, kids. So right now passengers has gone, so we can go back to the main police station, which is not very far from here. While the wind just changed its direction, we are just making a vertical ascent while turning right and heading straight to the police station. center of the platform. I just put a bit of the back right, and then aligning with the center, and gently lie down my ship. So this is it. Just cutting off the machine. Just have it prepared for the next flight. So hope you enjoyed this shorter video, and